miracle. Now we're gonna invite the groom side of the family. Igwe.
Let's give it up for the latest couple in town.
Exactly. Who can't be an MC, please?
They're dragging us.
Please. Who cannot be an MC? Even me, I'll be an MC. Let me stand up there. You just...
I'm
Tola,
not
you don't need to learn. You just stand up and you just say...
No, but you know what? You be one charging for hair, and then you can go and do another 3 bookings that day.
You can't do another
I can only do one wedding a day.
Yeah, but you're charging $1,000.
I'm not charging $1,000.
You can charge $1,000.
I can.
And you on top of
Eventually,
overtime.
Are you saying I'm good enough to charge $1,000? Oh, thank
Well,
you.
I've only seen you once, to be fair. And let me think about your work when I saw you. I think you was all right. You was good.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, you were dressed well.
yeah,
I remember Chris's wedding.
You know what?
You was
That's
dressed
really
well.
important, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
you made a good impression. Because there's one MC that I thought, you still need to go and retrain you. You still need to go and train
Honestly,
again.
there's some, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but you get a range of
I think you
quality
you
across.
work with Folly, don't you? Or you know Folly or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's probably what it is.
Yeah. So I mean, when I was starting, I was calling Folly. You always spend like an hours on the phone.
Yeah,
just like,
that's
"Yo,
probably
give me
what it
tips."
is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends on who you take as mentor.
That's
Because I remember
true.
Folly did mention there was a wedding. I think he had COVID and was like, oh, he might not be able to come, but it
Yeah.
was good. I think that's the first time I
Neither.
heard about you because it was like, oh, if he doesn't feel better,
Yeah.
Did
they'll
you feel
just get
better?
me
Probably
there.
would have felt better.
they'll get me there to come and do it. Well, one mask at the beginning. I saw Folly take that mask off. I said, I'm told the COVID is still there. Okay, it's okay.
He said, this money I must collect it.
No, because it was like, if you didn't test, maybe you did, I don't know. Because it was like, if you didn't test negative or something, then Midday will come and do it.
No, but you're good. Yeah, you actually, what's that word? Command the crowd. Is it command?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did well at Chris's wedding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
that
you
was a good
did.
wedding, actually. That was
That was
a
a
good. The DJ's not. It makes our job harder, man.
Yeah,
I'm
of course it does, because you're not in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
I'm
moments
sure.
where you can always tell a good wedding DJ when, for example, if I've called somebody to give a speech and they're like coming from the back of the hall,
Yeah.
play background music.
Exactly.
Yeah, play
Like,
back-
there's
yeah.
silence.
Just be looking at
I
us.
agree.
But yeah, that's how I always can tell a good DJ. But
It must be hard if you have to work with a rubbish DJ though, because
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
are like, connect your.
yeah, for us it's the DJ and the coordinator that we.
But
Why the
you work
coordinator?
with because you have to.
'Cause
Okay,
coordinator
imagine
does
the
a lot
coordinator
of-
don't tell coordinator if food is not coming, if food is not ready. The
Oh,
kitchen is not
okay.
ready.
Yeah.
If they don't
So you need
communicate
to know
with
what's
them,
going
yeah,
on.
and
Like, what's
that's
happening
true.
next? You need to be
Yeah.
to relay that to me. Yeah,
That's
so
true,
that's
actually.
very, very key, that one.
Before we start, real quick, that's our favorite Adrian told me that one MC because she was Victoria. She was
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
now, when they bring all these family members to come and MC or somebody that don't know all these rubbish people, that the one time they were not ready in the kitchen because they were having some problem with the oven and stuff like that. Guess what this MC did?
Cool,
And
cool,
now when I said it, they
They're having problems in the kitchen.
he said it like that, the people still look good. He said it like, as if the kitchens are sloppy. Like, something like, the kitchens are not ready. Also, oh my God, you guys are.
That is
hilarious.
hilarious.
Good MC, you keep it going.
Yeah, just distract
Just
yourself.
find some
in,
rubbish to be saying. Like, at least, well,
Yeah. Move some around. That's how it's
This
This is sometimes, and I get irritated about sometimes when I have to coordinate with them and they've booked all these people and I'm just looking, I'm like, what are you doing?
Because it's going to make your job harder.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You want a team of people that's going to make your job easier.
I'm telling you,
Like for
professionals.
everybody, it's for everyone. It's to everyone's benefit.
Yeah.
If the day runs smoothly.
It makes a huge difference when you work
Yeah.
with professionals, people that actually know what they're doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this industry, there's so many people. Everyone wants to.
There
do
is.
best.
Well, it's one of we were talking about it in the other episode. People see you doing something, they're like, "Oh, I can do that," and they think
Thank
it's
you.
easy,
Yep.
Yeah.
and they go and do it and just show their
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
I've worked at a wedding where the MC was telling people to shut up.
I'm not
No,
surprised.
like,
It's
that's
possible,
why
yeah.
when I say, "Can you be quiet?" no, he didn't even say, "Can you be quiet?" He said, "Can you shut up?"
That is
It's a
Okay,
shut
that-
up.
wild.
Even be quiet is
I
something
said,
you should
wow.
not say as an
Yeah,
MC,
you
right?
shouldn't
You
say
can't
that.
say that.
No. You have to grab people's.
Okay, let's go. Let's do this. I've got
do it.
my bed. My bed's calling me.
It's calling you. All right.
Yeah, it's going past my
I need to
bedtime
go
soon.
rest with
Let's get this
cold.
one done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Venice Table. I'm MC Midday. Today I'm joined by Tola from Roe Weddings
Hey, hi guys.
and Deborah Lola Bridal.
Hi guys. Hello.
I'll
How
allow
you
you
doing
guys to do
today?
your self introduction. So Tola, you first. What do you do in the wedding industry and why weddings?
Hi guys, I'm Tola from Roe Weddings. I'm the lead planner. So I'm a wedding planner and a wedding coordinator. what do we do? So we pretty much put everything together. So before you see the MC, the hairstylist, the makeup artist, the beautiful decor on the day, we've pretty much worked behind the scenes to put everything together, bring everyone together, so the couple can have an amazing day, an amazing wedding. I've been doing this for 9 years now. Going to be 10 next year. Milestone celebration.
Ooh.
But yeah, why wedding? That was your question, right? Because I actually enjoy it. Like, I mean, it's stressful. It's a lot of work, but I actually love it. The joy, on the day when the couple are happy, their family, the celebration. Yeah, it just gives me so much joy. And that's why I'm still in it, despite all the work.
And you're very good at it as well, Tola.
Oh, thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Deborah, what do you do? Why weddings?
Hi guys. So my name is Deborah of Deborah Lola Bridal, and I'm a hairstylist. I've been doing bridal hair for the last 9 years, 10 years next year. And I just love doing hair. I love brides. I love meeting people. I love being a part of a bride's big day, and I do tend to feel special when they choose my service, because it's the one day that they're never going to get to do again, most people. So to be a part of that, it's always a pleasure. And yeah, it just always makes me feel extra special.
It's a nice responsibility, isn't it? Being chosen to do something.
Yeah, because they're spending all that money and they say, you are the chosen one.
And I agree with Deborah. I agree.
Yeah, it is nice. All right, wedding trivia.
Yeah.
You're against each other. 5 questions. We'll see who gets the most.
Tell her you're ready.
I don't think I did because it's not a wedding plan.
Yeah, you should know. You should definitely know. You should definitely know all of these. Okay. What is the name of the dining style where guests are served a pre-selected dish?
Starters.
Plated
service.
Oh, you should know this. I'm a hairstylist. Guys, listen, I'm just a hairstylist.
I actually thought about it again. I'm like, huh?
I said starters.
So I actually know the answer, yeah.
You should. I don't know. I tried to give questions that people should know generally about weddings.
I shouldn't know that. I'm a hairstylist.
Yeah, Deborah probably, yeah.
How am I supposed to know that?
That's a bit of a
fine.
technical one.
Can you imagine plated?
Yeah, it's
Do
technical.
you really? Because people don't really change their hairstyles mid-wedding, do they?
Mid-weddings?
As
What
in,
do you
like,
mean?
they'll
Like for a
Yeah, but-
second look?
Yeah.
Yeah, for second look.
on the
yeah,
reception.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
You know when
Okay.
it's like time to party,
Yeah.
let my hair down, change my dress. Yeah, they do.
They do.
Okay, fine. I'll see you do hang around for some of these.
Of course we do. What do you mean?
So
What-
then you should know about plated service.
But you know what-
Excuse
but
me,
you know what
are they
Deborah
putting
would
me
not
on on their breakfast table? I don't understand.
Yeah, you might get a vendor's table seat. Vendor's
Well,
table seat.
So when I sit on the vendor's table,
You
do
know
they
the-
say to
yeah,
me,
the food just
"Oh,
comes
this is
to
a
you."
plated,
No.
plated service or plated plates"?
That's a technical one. I
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Thank you,
okay.
Tola.
That's a technical
I'll lie you off.
So guys, if you're listening to this, now you know.
Deborah just said you're still listening to this.
I'm not getting anything
Ask
back
about
from
hair.
that.
Ask about hair. Okay, let's do this.
Okay, you might not know this.
No, Mido, you're out of order. I hope you have not.
Wait. Let me ask the question first.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, God.
What is the name given to the table at the reception where family and or friends sit with the bride and the groom?
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
bride
yeah.
and groom's table.
Maybe, should I give her a chance or should I say
No, finish her. Make it 5-0.
top table? Top table?
Yeah, top table. Where
Oh,
yeah.
that's so nice. I should have known that one,
Should
isn't
have.
it?
Alright. Yeah, and I wanted to give you
I'm not liking this game. I feel like it's one-sided, to be honest.
It's, okay, let me. This one you should know. This one. You should know
Okay.
this one.
Okay, let's start.
What is the name given to the extension at the back of a wedding dress?
Extension at the back of a wedding dress.
Never have it, have it.
The tail?
No,
Train?
What?
Train?
On the train?
you should know that one.
Why should I know? I'm a hairstylist. I keep saying this. I'm not a dressmaker.
She said tail.
Guys,
It wasn't so bad. It wasn't such a bad guess.
Almost there.
Almost there. Hopefully,
Guys, if you're listening to this, please laugh with me, yeah? because
They're laughing at you.
oh no, laugh with me. Don't laugh at me because these people are just doing one-sided game.
This next one, I'm
bride
gonna
should
have
know
to
it.
change one. No, she would definitely not know this one. Okay, you might know this one. What is the name given to a man that is engaged to be married?
Fiance.
Hey.
Oh gosh, did you see how I said that slowly?
You really weren't sure.
Fiance.
You weren't sure.
No, because you might have one technical name for it.
No, I mean, yeah, it's fiance,
It's
but it's just
fiancé.
spelled differently to
Yeah, exactly.
to the wife's
To
one.
the
How do you?
female.
Which one is the groom man spelling?
Oh, with one E and the accent.
Yeah.
So you're not just a
I'm
hairstylist.
not just a hairstylist.
Okay, so that's what
Fourth one, that's the fourth.
3-1,
3-1.
3-1.
Mm.
Fifth question. What is the name of the activity where the bridal party walk down the aisle?
Will the bridal party walk down the aisle?
Mm-hmm.
What
Before the
bride and groom?
Yeah.
Before
Well,
the
the
bride
groom
and
will be
groom,
at
or
the
before,
front,
the,
but
or
before
before
the
the
bride.
bride. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to have a go?
You know what it is.
I'm gonna say, but this is for Deborah and I because the procession.
Correct.
Oh, it's the procession.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't let me say it. I was about to say it.
I even said it
You
before both of
were
us.
about to say
Five points each.
Let the
Four-
procession begin, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they say?
It is indeed.
That's correct.
Okay, I wasn't about to say it, but you
So that was 4-1. Yeah, Tola got the win. Very easy. In fact, it should have been 5. We
But
gave
you know,
you grace.
what it is, yeah? Because some of these questions are most
They
for
were
wedding
tough.
planner.
They were
But
tough.
Tola, I must say, if you didn't know the answer to any of those questions,
They were-
I would have to question your
As in-
your job.
That's what I said at the beginning. That if I don't get it, nobody will book me.
But you guys are veterans. You've both been 9 years. You're both 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't-
Please don't call me a veteran. I'm a baby girl. I just started. Don't call
You
me
just
no
started?
veteran.
Baby girl for life.
Baby girl. Don't call me no veteran, please. I'm not 90.
I didn't even know
But
the
9
bride
years,
is
so
9
that's-
years as well. Yeah.
I'm not a
But you must
veteran.
have
I'm
seen,
still.
it must have changed quite a bit though. Then weddings from back then to now.
Not too much
Not
for me.
really.
I would say as a planner, I don't think
Yeah.
it's changed. Not significantly.
Do you notice that after the pandemic, people are doing smaller weddings?
Okay, actually, maybe the only
the frequency of
change.
smaller weddings is more.
Not even just small weddings. There's a lot of weekday weddings now. I've noticed
Yes.
compared to before. So what
Yes, there's definitely more weekday weddings.
I think the only difference is that there's a lot of weekday weddings now.
Yeah.
Mm.
So while before people would be struggling for Saturday, for the weekend, but
Mm.
people don't care now. Even Mondays, whatever days. Like I get
Yeah.
inquiries all the time now. And it's for weekdays. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the change. That
Yeah,
I've-
since pandemic.
since
Is
the
that what
pandemic.
brought that about though?
So it's more of I think more like people now. You know, like COVID, the pandemic just kind of make people feel like this life is really. People just don't. They don't care because before they'll be thinking, oh, the guests won't come if it's if it's a weekday and thing. But I think now, like you said, so it kind of like all still links to the smaller wedding as well. People are like, they get couple are like, yeah, if they don't come, they don't. I just want important people at my wedding anyway. Unlike before, where some couple would want like 700, 800, they just want like a carnival. But now, like so it kind of all links as well into maybe
Yeah.
what you said about people wanting smaller weddings.
And I think also it's because people are just forgetting about the rules. Like there's no, the rules of events is more do your event on the Saturday or Friday, but people don't really care about that anymore. And also with regards to cost as well, it's about cost cutting, and people are starting to realize actually I want to get married and I do want to have a good wedding on a good substantial amount of budget. So if I can do that on a weekday, then what's the problem? And people are willing to come, so I might as well, and I think COVID has just enabled people to realize that it's okay to have a weekday wedding. It doesn't have to be on a weekend anymore, But let's be careful with that, because these venues are going to catch on to that
They will.
and then increase their weekday prices.
But do you think they can do that? I don't
Of course
think
they can do that.
I don't
See,
think
if
it'll
it's
ever match a Friday and a
no,
Saturday.
it
price.
wouldn't. It'll just
it'll be more.
It'll just be
Yeah,
more. Just
okay.
It'll just
It'll
be
be
increased.
more, but just not same as the Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because
let's just say,
there's
for
a big
example,
difference between-
a Saturday would have normally been maybe 15K. Let's just say,
Exactly,
for
yeah,
example.
Mhm.
And so what they could do, I'm not saying this, this is just hypothetically speaking,
Yeah.
they could make a weekday 15K and make a Saturday 20K.
Okay.
So
Well, in fairness, like venues, the cost does go up anyway every year. every venue the cost goes up. So the 2020, unlike some vendors where your price is pretty much maybe the same for like years.
Yeah.
But with them, every year the prices goes up anyway.
Yeah.
But there wouldn't be a major. I feel like there wouldn't be a major
So you're thinking they might increase the
significant.
Saturday and then okay.
Yeah, but I don't feel. Like before, you could get a venue for like 3K on a weekday. But I don't. I'm
Not
just
really
saying, for
now,
example,
not-
not
yeah.
now.
Yeah, I get what you
Exactly, not
mean.
now.
Yeah,
They
'cause
wouldn't do that anymore. So you wouldn't see much of a vast difference between a Saturday price and a weekday price anymore. It wouldn't be a major difference. Like, oh my gosh, I'm making such a significant amount of savings. Yeah.
Even I think there's some venues are even making Thursdays more
See?
expensive now.
There you go.
Than
compared
Saturday.
to
Because-
no compared to early like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is a price.
Oh, but it's always been like
Thursday.
that.
Is it?
Yeah. So basically, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are cheaper, cheapest,
Yeah.
and then Thursday, a bit more, and then Friday and Sunday are generally the same price,
Okay.
and then Saturday is
Saturday's
the crazy.
I think Sunday's basically a weekday.
Sunday's a good day to get off Friday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got work Monday.
Yeah.
Tired. They want to go home early.
Oh, you're thinking Sunday's not a good day to get? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that.
So, or in terms of reducing the price for a Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's probably like the same as like a Monday.
week Monday.
Okay,
Okay,
I get
fair
you.
enough.
And
Yeah.
it's more expensive
people
than
gonna
the
leave
Tuesday.
earlier.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. That makes sense. Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about stuff that goes on before the wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we'll start with you,
me.
Deborah, because
Okay.
yours is it's consultation and trials. You do trials often.
Yeah. So the process usually is the bride contacts us and we send them our price list. We ask for their location, their dates, and we would arrange a free consultation, a 10 minutes free consultation, just to get an understanding of their requirements, because sometimes some brides have an idea of what they want, but they don't necessarily know what service they need to select. So that's where the free 10 minutes consultation comes into play. And then following that, they can, so that consultation will allow them to decide if they want to have a trial. And I always say a trial, you should, because I try to make a saving for brides wherever I can. And for me, it's usually sometimes the trial.
Okay.
So I do say to brides, if you fall into any of these three categories, which is you don't know what hairstyle you want, have a trial. You know what hairstyle you want, but you don't know if it's going to suit you, have a trial. And if you know, yes, I want to use Deborah's service, but do I trust that Deborah can deliver the service? Do I trust that, she can do what I want? Have a trial. So if you fall into any of those three categories, that's when I would definitely please have a trial, because your wedding day is not experimental day.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's not time.
And it's not the day to be doing back and forth with, I like it, I don't like it, No. So if you have a trial, then you can be, both, I and the bride can be rest assured that we both know what's going to happen on the day. We both know what we're doing. And that will also reduce any time, that could potentially eat into your hairstyling time. So that's when I would say have a trial. And and to be fair, I've had brides have trials and it's worked out well for them. Like that's the best decision that they could have made for both of us. Because sorry guys, I have to consider myself here.
It makes life easier.
It makes
for you
life
as
easier
well,
for
'cause you
me,
know what you
yeah.
want.
And it's just with anything anyways, just like, when you're going out, you always think, oh, I know what I'm gonna wear,
And then,
but when it's time, once it's on the day,
Put
you're
it
now
on.
putting it on, you're like, no.
It's not matching.
that's true. Oh, that's true.
And that's what will now make you late to the event.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because, but if you tried it many days beforehand, you wouldn't
Have it
struggle.
laid out.
Yeah. So that's when I would encourage brides to have a trial.
Okay, fine.
And then post that's more. So you do, if they need installation, do you not do that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But
'Cause you
okay,
have to do that as well,
so
don't
from the
you?
trial, so this is the thing, because there's various services to choose from. So it just all depends, because then the trial actually then confirms which type of service they're required to achieve the style they want. So, for example, some brides would think before having a trial, would think maybe, oh, I need to have a weave. So, for people who don't know what a weave is, a weave is an hair extensions added to your hair. So that so weave essentially is basically covers most of your hair with a leave out. Google it what a weave is. So so it just depends. You can then, so the trial could essentially we can then decide, that maybe you a wig is the better option for you, or a weave, if you wanted a weave and then you come for a trial and we realize actually your hair type and texture does not necessarily require you to have a trial, require to have a weave, then maybe you can actually use your own hair. So there's just different services to choose from, and a trial essentially just confirms the best option for you. So.
Okay. Are you finding more people are doing natural hairstyles?
Do you know what? I feel like a lot of my brides from the early start of my career in the industry, I've always swayed towards natural hairstyling, to be fair. So, of course, I have the odd few brides who do want to have a wig or want to have a weave. But a lot of my bride, actually, I just made that up. I think, a lot of my brides do wear weaves. But
maybe tracks?
No, they'll clip-ins.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll do clip-ins, they'll do weaves, and sometimes when you say natural hairstyling, you're talking about their own natural hair. Yes, and so it's always been a good mixture of both.
Okay.
It's just more recently I'm having brides geared towards wigs.
Yeah, because wigs is becoming
more popular.
I don't have a clue about it.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's interesting because wigs don't necessarily work for everybody. Sometimes I have brides say, oh, Deborah, I want to have a wig, or I want to have a frontal wig. And my first question is, have you worn a frontal wig before? That you know that you want to wear a frontal wig? Because your wedding day is not experimental. So, so it's just important to, and I think that's the important part, the most essential part of having consultations with brides. It's so important because the trial's not even the most important part. The consultation is, because the consultation is what allows you to have a better understanding of what the person's like, the person's lifestyle, because these are things that you need to consider. You can't just think, oh, yes, that wedding day, so I'm going to do anything for you because you said, oh, I want natural hairstyling, then that's what I'm going to do. No, you want natural hairstyling? Okay. So after the wedding, what happens? Are you going on your honeymoon straight away? How's your hair going to be on honeymoon? How are you going to maintain your hair on honeymoon? And then you've got some people say, oh, Deborah, I've never worn a weave before, or I haven't worn a weave in like 10 years. And then that's another question of, okay, so if you don't wear a weave, which is fine, but these are the alternative options to explore. So which is clip-in, install. So basically there's so many different various options, that a bride can choose from. And natural hairstyling is one of them as well,
Nice.
Mida, you understand about hair now?
I've been knowing about hair.
What do you know about hair?
Huh?
What do you know about hair?
I know that it sits on the head.
Is that why you said natural hairstyling?
Is that you know it's on there?
We have to display the knowledge that we have about our small hair.
After all of that talk, if you do a wedding and the hairstylist doesn't show up, they should be able to give you
I mean, I show up much later than that, so if they're waiting for me, they'll be in trouble.
Well, at least you know about natural hairstyling. So.
So I'll give them some
needs
tips
to change their hair in the evening before the party.
Yeah, exactly.
You change hair and then welcome them back in.
Exactly, Go out with them, take out the track, do this. So, we got that covered.
I see you.
We got that covered.
Come and work with Deborah Lola Bridal.
I'm ready. The price, I'll send you my invoice. You're ready.
Hilarious.
So, Tola, you guys do a lot before the wedding as planners.
Yeah.
Do you still do a lot of face-to-face stuff? Obviously, like when you're doing like site visits and stuff, you kind of have to. But when you're like,
no, actually, that's another change that's actually happened post-COVID. A lot of meetings and things are now like virtual.
Yeah.
Because people have then realized that we don't necessarily like all these things as well can be done on Zoom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing actually. A lot of my meetings now are actually virtual. I still get some of the clients that wants to meet face to face every now and again, but a lot of it is actually done virtually, which is.
It's a lot more convenient as well.
Yeah, which is quite good. Which is quite good. Because, so basically, I do my meetings. Like my meetings is either at King's Cross, Pullman, or the Hilton in London Bridge. Okay. And the travel is generally about an hour or something. Yeah. So imagine, about 40 minutes to King's Cross, maybe an hour to London Bridge. So imagine, you don't have to all that travel time.
And saved.
And let's be honest, like that time saved, can be you can be productive. You can use it for like other productive stuff. To be honest.
For sure.
And it makes no difference. Like, either if we meet face to face or virtually, it makes absolutely no difference, to be honest.
Yeah.
To answer your question, more virtually now. Like virtual.
What's your process like before the wedding?
Okay, so this is Roe Weddings process, but it doesn't mean this is how every planner does it. So when the couple, the bride or the groom, which, it's becoming popular that the groom are actually starting to make inquiries. No, honestly, because
groom villa.
I'm not joking. I don't necessarily like, I had a groom recently. He's so lovely and everything, but he actually contacted me, which is becoming quite.
I love that.
Because, it used to be brides, Actually, recently I've had 2 or 3 groom actually contact me, which is, I'm thinking, okay, this is different. Okay, generally it's the bride that's actually messaging anyway. So when we get inquiries from the bride or the couple or the groom, so what I do is I would so I'll tell you the price. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to waste your time and so we don't waste each other's time. Because the truth about it is that you could have done all of this stuff and then they come back and say, oh, it's too expensive, we don't want to go ahead. So, I send the price, if the price is good for you, then, we'll arrange a consultation, like a free consultation where you can ask any question. I'll be able to talk you through what, the packages that we offer if you don't already know which one you want to go for. But most times people do know, they just come and say, oh, we're making an inquiry about your coordination, or like planning. So, So we'll talk about everything, you can ask questions. Like I said, I'll talk about, what the package include. I'll be able to maybe if we're on Zoom, share a brochure with you and all of that. And then, so I'll give you time, obviously, to go back and have a think about that. And then if you do want to go ahead. And the reason why I also do that consultation as well, I think Deborah also mentioned something like that, getting to know, I think, the client, all the questions
just understanding the client better.
For me, it's really important that if we're going to work together, we get along. And the reason is because we spend so much time together. So particularly if you're planning a wedding, when I'm planning a wedding, I spend more time with a couple than I actually do with my own family. Yeah. And that's the truth, because we're talking all the time. So whether on WhatsApp, whether it's meetings, phone call, we're literally in communication more than I actually maybe do communicate with my own mother. It's true, because there's a lot, there's a lot to do. There's a lot that goes into planning. And even if it's just coordination, because I come in like about 2 months before to meet with you, to discuss the wedding in detail. And from that point onward, we're pretty much bouncing, stuff back and forth. So So for me, it's really important that we kind of get along and, you trust me and things. And this is the kind of vibe we can get from the meeting if we do the meeting before booking. Because in that way, you can tell if it's not because the clients are bad people, but just how it is in life. Some people just generally
some
don't.
Some people.
You just don't. You just don't feel the chemistry with some people, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't mean they're bad people or you're a bad person. It's just it's just like when people marry as well, and they don't have that connection. That's when the marriage would then end because So that connection is really, really important for me. So that's one of the reasons why I do that meeting as well, because I can generally tell from that meeting if we're fit, the right fit for each other. Yeah,
I think because that relationship is probably one of the most important in terms of the couple, the planner, the coordinator.
And do you know why? And do you know why that is? It's also because you're the one most of the time, especially when you're planning the wedding, that pulls everyone. So everything that happens on the day, you're pretty much with recommending vendors. Like with me, I give the couple the chance to decide who they want to go with. But I would recommend send website, Instagram page, and stuff like that, so the couple can see their work. But it's also because, like I said, you're the one that kind of brings everyone together. So everything that's going to happen on their day, most times you're the one that's bringing all these people, recommending these people to them. Yeah. So yeah, so it's really important that, they trust you and all of that kind of thing. So this is why I do that meeting. So then that way we can, tell. And, sometimes, I mean, I've had meetings where, I mean, we've had a call and, they come back and say they want to go ahead. But I just don't feel that connection. And I just feel like, down the line, we're going to have issues. And I just, so to avoid that issue from the beginning, I would just, maybe let you go as a couple from that point. And even sometimes as well, like, I can talk to somebody now and it's not because they don't think I'm great at what I do but it's just, we're just not the right fit for each other. And, if they do come back and say they don't, I'll be like, no problem,
But that's a good shout, Tola, because what you're doing there is just saving everybody a heartache.
Yeah, because another planner might not say this, but there's a lot of things that, I've heard a lot of horror stories of, maybe planners and clients, cursing each other and all of that kind of thing. And it's not me. So I just would not.
It needs to fit.
Yeah. So it's really, really important. Like, you have that connection. It's super important because otherwise there's just going to be issues down the line.
Yeah.
There's always going to
and that's the same for us as well, actually, because the consultation also enables me to understand the bride's personality. There's, of course, everybody has different personalities, and you're not always going to be best friends with your client. But at least there needs to be that trust.
And that
connection because it helps. Because you want a client that's going to trust you, care for you, and
like
vice versa.
Like it's mutual.
It's important.
And what you said about different personality now, I actually agree because so I have clients. Some that are quite chatty, I'm quite chatty. I'm quite chatty. So so I have clients where we can chat all night long. And we have this meeting that's even supposed to maybe last 2 hours. And we've chatted for like, out of that 2 hours, we've chatted for like an hour.
And then you've got some clients who are opposite.
And I have clients who are opposite. They don't want to talk too much. They just want you just get straight to it. And and I will still work with them. So you're right. So it doesn't mean you have to have like my personality. It doesn't mean you have to be like me or have a certain personality. It's just more of like that connection that at least we can work together in peace and like Deborah said, look after each other. And you might feel like, how do you look after your hairstylist or how do you look after your planner or any of your vendor?
Feed me.
Imagine what this one is saying.
in the morning of your wedding, feed me.
You put in the hair.
I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. It's all bad.
Deborah will not kill me. But like mainly, look after each other. It's more like at least be considerate. The same way I want to be considerate. I want to make sure you're like if anyone's trying to maybe rip you off, if venue or anything, I will step in and be there for you and fight your battle. And I mean, I've had weddings where one of my weddings recently where the couple overpaid the venue. And then when they were refunding the money, it was a destination. When they were refunding the money, so they took a while because they had to wait for approval for all these top bosses to approve the refund. By the time the refund came, the exchange rate had dropped. So the bride was losing 790 for an overpayment. I was like, no, we're not having this. I mean, their wedding is over, but because of the fact that that connection, we had that relationship.
Yeah, you don't want to let it go.
Yeah, I wouldn't let it. I wouldn't let it go.
This is my fight.
Do you get what? Thank you. So you see me with the boxing like I'm in the ring. I'm not the one that's becoming. You think I'm the bride or it was my wedding. But eventually now they're gonna give it back.
But tell us because you care.
And that's the thing is what the bride. So that's what we're just going back to your point.
Yeah.
It needs to be. The feeling needs to be like mutual because the couple as well. Like if the couple are nice, like And one of the things as well that we always talk about as vendors, I don't know if I can say this, you can edit it out. Anyway, when couple are good, when you're lovely, when you're nice, the vendors will go extra mile. I've had vendors that will not charge me, maybe for whatever reason beyond our control, which, you all know this happens on wedding day where we will
even though I'll be giving you side eye though, Tola.
We're running behind schedule, right? We're running, but because the couple haven't really been the most friendly or, they've been one kind, all the vendors are pulling me for Tola, look at my time. I'm like, you people help me out now.
I've seen it. I'll go to the videographer. I'm like, they're doing second entries now. My time's finished.
No, I'm telling you, and that does happen. Like, they're even doing it, maybe because when there's no coordinator, maybe because they're coming to you all the time saying, look at my time, look at my time, look at my time. And this is also because if you think about it, it is their time. They should be charging for it. However, people are willing to be more, flexible and just, because you've been a lovely, I mean, we had one bride recently where Deborah went to style their hair in the hotel and she's meant to leave from there, but she still came to the venue to kind of like help with
because I'm a nice person, guys.
Because
if you're fed.
Yeah, so
but
that
Tola goes-
relationship.
Yeah, it's
really,
exactly.
really key.
It's the
really important to
relationship.
Yeah,
It's
no, I agree
key.
with that. Even like every vendor will always look to make sure every vendor looks to deliver. Or good
regardless
vendors
of
look
whether
to
you're
deliver.
nice or
Yeah,
not, they'll still
exactly. But
deliver. But
when
just,
you are nice,
yeah.
it's easy for anyone to go above and beyond to make sure. you're
Honestly,
getting
like
the
even
best.
if it's not convenient for them,
Yeah.
even if it's
I,
not
I think
convenient,
what brides, well, I'm saying brides or couples.
because you deal more with
I
brides.
just deal with
yeah,
brides.
you deal with brides.
But I think what couples need to understand is, because obviously you guys are going to be listening to this podcast and you're probably going to be thinking, yeah, but I paid for your service, but I paid for this. But it's the same with you at work. When that clock strikes 5 p.m., you're packing up and turning off your computer and you're going home. So that's the same with us. So it's not like, we don't want to be nice or we don't want to be good people, but you need to also put yourselves in our shoes. When you're at work, you're there to work, you're there to do what you need to do and go home. And when your manager is good to you, your employers are good to you, you do want to be overproductive. You do want to go above and beyond. And that's the way you
Stay
need
longer,
to. You,
so.
yeah, you stay longer at work. You're leaving the
Maybe,
office at
yeah.
11 p.m.
Yeah,
when
maybe
you
to
should have
meet
left
deadlines, you know what I mean? I've
at
had
5.
a couple that have got, like you said, like a lovely maybe boss and things. Because sometimes I'm like speaking to them, I'm like, oh, I'm still at work or I'm just going to work too. And I'm like, what? And that's because obviously maybe because their boss, the manager is lovely and obviously if anything goes wrong it affects the manager, so they want to support their manager because they're I mean, it's funny you said that because I had a bride actually that was saying to me that she really loves her manager because her manager is one that understands her and she lets them and because of that she's willing as well to
do more for him.
and
her.
it's the same with the industry as well. Like I mean, we're still human. I think sometimes I think the problem is that sometimes like clients couple do forget that we're humans as well, like we're all humans and
but this is why I said at the beginning that it's important for clients to care for us as well, because if you care for us, well, naturally, okay, let me speak for myself. Naturally I'm going to care for you because I'm a caring person by nature, right? And if I'm not receiving that in return, I'll just go into a mode of I want to do my job and I want to do it well and I want to make sure you're happy and I want to go home. Right? But if I see that this person actually is understanding, is caring, is also going above and beyond for me, which of course, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to. But if I see that you are, then naturally, again, I'm going to reciprocate to that. I'm going to want to do that and more. So people just need to understand that, yes, you're spending all this money for your big day, but you still have people that are working for you that you also need to care for. So yeah, and that's the only way, you get the best of both worlds. It benefits both of you, isn't it? A client caring for you, everyone's happy. You giving me croissant in the morning, I'm happy. Giving me the English breakfast, I'm happy. And actually, when I come in, you're asking me, would you like some water? I'm happy. Would you like a cup of tea?
Little things that go a long way.
No, okay, yeah, well, no, I guess, maybe the bride is making it, but it's just,
No, I'm joking,
that
guys.
care as well, like, that care. And that care can also be, I mean, when your vendor arrives, like, you're not...
You just want it to a happy day.
Yeah. You're not like, oh, well, can you just start doing my hair? Or, and just not have that attitude, which is sometimes what, you will get.
We understand why some brides have attitude in the morning. I understand, and I'm sure you understand as well. They stressed. It's the stress
It's a stressful day.
It's a stressful day. It's even the lead up to the day is stressful.
But the truth about it, though, is, okay, like, I guess if you didn't have a planner, then that probably creates that extra stress on you.
But even if they do have a planner, some people are just they just naturally get stressed.
And still, you spend a lot of money.
You spend a lot of
still don't
money.
know whether it's
Maybe
going to go
not stress.
right.
Even me, I'll be stressed.
Not stress. Maybe stress is not the word. Anxious.
Yeah.
No,
Anxious about how the day. Okay.
Maybe that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
because anxious about how the day is going to turn up. Just like the day because you spent.
They're anxious and they're also stressed because remember, you don't know what they've had to deal with. Some brides,
okay,
when
it's
we
true
come,
though. Actually, yeah.
some of them
parents
have not
might have
seen.
It's true. Some of the things that I don't get to. Yeah,
you don't get
it's
to see. Sometimes
like parents.
Sometimes we'll come in
It's
the
true.
morning. A bride's just waking up. You know, and then you'd be hearing, oh, I went to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Please, why did you go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning? Oh, I was doing the favors. You know, but why didn't you do the favors before?
And that's why the
but
bridal. No, let's talk about bridal party. I know bridal party is probably not. Bridal party is probably not part of this talk, right? But what Deborah just said now just made me think about, you know, when you choose your bridesmaids or your groomsmen, or your best man or your maid of honor, this is the whole point. Like, you know, so they can take some of this stress off you and support you.
Yeah, but Tola, some brides don't like to delegate though. No, trust me, I've had brides that are very militant. And is that the right word to use?
Yeah. They want to control.
They want to control everything.
It's just so stressful for you. Like, I mean, so if you have like 5 people, 5 bridesmaids, 6
Tola, it's not always the bridesmaids.
But even I hear, even if the bride doesn't want to delegate or is the type of person that wants to be in control of everything, at least then make sure your bridesmaids are people that are going to help. Because there are some bridesmaids or some people in the bridal party that you're actually holding us back. You're a detriment to us.
Don't even get me. Please, you know me as a planner. I have story for days. So don't even get me started on that one. Let's just leave it because we'll be here 10 hours talking about that. Honestly, like some brides just so dramatic. And I'm like, okay, before what we used to do, okay, we'll be just hanging around, waiting for them, waiting for bridesmaids. But it got to a point in my in this career, I just have to be like, okay, if this is happening, I just go to the bride. I wouldn't even go. I would just go and ask the bride, X, Y, you know, they're not ready to go because they don't like the eyelashes or they don't like, you know, something they want makeup. Are you happy for us to go to proceed? Or, you know, and most time the bride will be like, yeah, please. They're not going to delay my. Yeah, no, honestly, you're right. Like sometimes the bridesmaids are actually sometimes you get it with groomsmen as well. Actually, you know what? Yeah, talking about groomsmen, groomsmen, please. When we're ready to go to start the ceremony, it's not when you need to go to the bathroom, please, because this keeps happening all the time. We're about to start the ceremony, the trad or white wedding, trad. I go and get you guys. Okay, the alaga needs you now. That's when 2 or 3 needs to go to the bathroom. I'm like,
because them two they stressed.
Especially for the trad, they don't know to make sure they're not losing money.
Them two they anxious now.
They were thinking, I can't shake her with my right hand.
I guess that's what it is. But yeah, no, bridal party are quite, it's really important. I mean, if the couple chooses you as the bridal party, it's because you mean something to them. So I mean, you should be there to, you know, support them, you know, be the one that creates that good vibe on the day, not the one that's creating the, like Mida said, the one that's delaying the, but yeah.
Oh man. Okay. What should we do? Pet peeves quickly.
I don't have any.
Do you have any?
I don't think I do.
People talking during speeches is my one.
Okay.
Okay. That's
actually,
okay.
That one
grinds my ears.
It does.
And it's like, what you're saying is so important that you couldn't wait 5 minutes to have this conversation.
It's true.
That grinds my ears.
It's true. When people
you just
don't
like,
listen.
hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
speeches.
Yeah. Sometimes there was even a time where it got so bad we couldn't even hear the person giving a speech.
Wow.
So I had to go and get the mic, start the speech. I was like, listen, we're gonna start this again. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
And you have to be it must be really hard for MCs in the sense that you have to be careful the word
the way you
use.
deliver it.
Because if you say it, someone now say, "Oh, that was being rude."
Yeah, you can't now offend people. You have to be everybody's friend.
Yeah, that must be. Yeah,
so you have to say it in a way that's, or what do I usually? I'm usually just like, oh, can we try and give as much focus to the person giving the speech
so
the couple can hear what's being said.
Okay.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes while the speeches are going, I'll just go to the table that's making noise and be like, speeches are. We're in the middle of speeches. The couple said they can't hear what's being said, so can we keep the noise down?
What about if it's a table full of uncles and aunties?
I'll go there and say the same thing.
It's true, Deborah. Nigerian, you know the typical Nigerian aunties and uncles.
I'll go there and say the same thing.
This one's rude.
They'll look at me like that. So say, this small planner, who are you?
They do it.
They'll look at you and be like, hey, you small boy, what's going on?
And you just be like, okay, cool. Say no more.
There's only so much I can do.
I've done my part.
I've tried.
Yeah, you tried. Actually, okay, if that's the thing. For me, it would be more of people getting up before they're being called for buffet. Like, you know, when we do have buffet, because it just creates so much problem. Okay, when we do buffet, right? When I do weddings, when we do buffet, I just don't really particularly want the MC to call the table numbers on the mic. So, because I think it's nicer that way, and you know, it's more polite. So we walk up to the table and invite them over. But then I'm looking at the table, and then I can see 2 plates of food. And I'm confused. I'm actually now you're not actually making my job difficult, and you're confused because I'm looking at your table. I'm thinking, there's 4, so there are 10 people on the table. There's 5 plates. We haven't called, have I called this table? 'Cause the truth about it is that I am calling the table, looking at your table that is empty. I am not making any tally or any notes. Or table 5 has been called.
Yeah.
So when I look on your table and there's like 5 people eating, then I'm thinking, well, I haven't called this table.
So
then I'm confused, and then some people come and say, hey, how come some people on their table are eating? I'm like, they were not called. So yeah, so things like that actually kind of annoys me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult, and yeah, it's quite annoying. So yeah,
Even me, sometimes I'll stand at the back of the queue to make sure nobody else joins, and then 1 or 2 aunties will come, and they'll know that what I'm there. They'll be trying to style and form. Well, auntie, what table are you from? Yeah, that table
that you're
there.
called.
I haven't called that table yet. Oh, but 2 people on that table
don't
there
know.
eating.
Yeah, see, that's the problem that creates as well.
Exactly.
From the time 2 people have managed to sneak through the queue to get their food, and then these other people now want to come like, but people on the table are already, and sometimes I'm just like, you know what, just go, because honestly, I just can't do it. But yeah, so yes, for me, I think it'll be more, definitely that.
So mine is, I've got 2.
Okay.
Brides not being ready in the morning, and planners singing, whinging, grinding in my ears. How long left? How long left? Excuse you, was you here at 7 a.m. when I arrived and the bride was still sleeping? You know,
Because sometimes
you wasn't here. You just turned up at 10 o'clock with your heels, with your walkie-talkie.
you're walkie-talkie and you're feeling all cool and
Feeling all
good.
crazy, you know what I'm
As
saying?
per we'll
How
record
long left?
later.
So those are my 2 pet peeves.
All right, what advice, if you could give one piece of advice to couples planning their wedding, what would it be?
For me, I would say more like set a realistic budget.
But how do you? I think
When
the
I say
issue
set
with
a
that
realistic
is-
budget, okay, so this is it. There's some couple that comes to you and they already know this is what they want to spend, right? Which is fine. I mean, I'm all for there's a life after a wedding. I mean, I complain about that all the time because I don't want you, getting into, necessary debt, and then after the wedding you're struggling and all of that.
Yeah.
But if this is what your budget can accommodate, let's be okay with that. Unlike for some, so this one I said, okay, maybe when I say set a budget and stick to it, or maybe I should rephrase and say when you set a budget, because you don't do this all the time, you've never been married and things like that. Because sometimes, I mean, innocently and genuinely, couple just don't know how much things cost.
Yeah.
Like when you tell them,
100%.
when you say to them, oh, the MC is going to charge maybe what, 600 or 500 or 700, they're like, what? Just come and talk. And I'm literally there all the time educating couple about vendors that, this is not just what they do. There's a lot of all this thing, like, what you're saying about, what we do before the wedding, after that consultation, there's a contract, all of this kind of thing that, it's time, like paperwork, there's a lot of things. And for some people, you're a registered company, you have to worry about tax, maybe you have a website that you have to run, there's just so much other like costs and things. So so I'm there, sometimes educating, couple like, okay, this is why this person is charging that and things. So what I'll say is that, so maybe not, when I say set a budget and stick to it, so maybe what I mean is actually when you set a budget, if it's not going to work, just be more open to it, be flexible. So if, let's say, for example, now, you've always dreamt you wanted firework. Firework starts from like £800 and above. Do you know how many people that can feed?
Yeah,
Because even if the caterer is charging £35 per head, do £800 divided by 35. Do you know the number of guests you can actually feed with that money? So, but for some, it's because I really want this firework. But you don't have the budget for firework, or
get rid of the photo booth.
And this is just,
What did they do to you?
No, and these are just they're just examples of things that, like, it's not, I mean, it's nice touch to the wedding. Like, 360 is amazing. It's great. But then it will have to be, if we have budget, if you're already struggling, or, or you don't have that much, then let's just do what we can with the budget. Because I think that's sometimes, some of like the biggest struggle that, we face as planners, where, that saying where someone comes to you with like a Ford budget, but they want like a Maserati, that kind of thing. And you know what? And I think social media as well doesn't really help.
No, it doesn't.
No, social media doesn't help, because most people, most of this bride or couple, they've been following these pages. They've been, all these big blogs, and I'm not mention anybody. All these big blogs, and they see all these fancy weddings and all of that. And innocently, they just genuinely don't know that some of these weddings have cost like maybe £80,000, £70,000, or and then you're just two young people trying to get married, you know, trying to buy a house and all of these other things that come with, you know, when people get married.
There's life after wedding.
Yeah, and then you know you only want to spend, let's say, £25,000 on your wedding, or 30,000 now. You know what you get for 30,000. What cost 80,000? You certainly can't get that for. No. So I think that's what it is. Like, you know, just be more
realistic with your budget.
Yeah, realistic. With the budget.
Agreed. If you could give one bit of advice,
do your research, and do your research well. Read reviews, you know, and like Tola said, be realistic with your budget. And I think sometimes with hair, people tend to think they should be charging, they should be charged the same price that they would be charged at a salon, you know, and they forget all the additional costs as well that goes into it. So, for example, I remember I had a bride today who came and said, oh, yeah, so-and-so person is charging this price. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And I said, actually, for your location, how much is that person charging to travel to that location? And she told me the price. And I said, wow. And I said, I can guarantee you there's some hidden cost, you know, that's going to arise later on, you know. And but for me, I'm very transparent with my pricing. It's X, Y, Z. This is the additional, because I believe that I deal with clients the way I want to be dealt with, because I'm a customer myself, right? And I know that, please, although yes, you've got your contracts, please also verbally tell me. And that's another thing, actually. Please, brides to be, read your contracts. Understand your contracts. Don't come when it's time to pay your final balance. You now start saying, oh, but I didn't know you was I didn't know you was going to leave at like, read your contracts. They're there for a reason, you know, understand it before you make that retainer payment. And I think when you do that, read your contracts, do your research well, you would definitely avoid a lot of additional expenditures, you know, in the long run. And but if you don't read that contract, you'll be paying those extra hours charges. You know, you'll be paying those additional hair costs.
The thing with charges is that the thing with charges is that everyone charges differently, and this is sometimes, like, you know, what I have to say to clients is because everybody is at different level in their career.
Exactly.
It's like how you made the example of the 9-to-5 job earlier on. Like, if you work in a job for 10 years and they're still paying you the same thing they paid you as a graduate.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't, because over the years you've done training. I'm sure you know you've done training. You're more experienced. If anything, sometimes what you're even paying for is not necessarily just them coming even maybe to style your hair. It's additional stuff, like, you know, the experience. Because if anything happens, it's just like planners as well, coordinator. You charge differently because someone that's just starting cannot start charging because of the fact that you're still learning. And not like everyone is still learning. I mean, I'm going to be 10 years and I'm still learning. Because things still happen.
You never stop learning. You never stop. But even experienced people at work are still learning. They're still going on those short courses.
Courses as well. And because sometimes even wedding, you know, because wedding is what it is. It's different. It's a life event. Anything, sometimes something new happen. I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen that one before. Oh gosh. Like, now next time I know I'm prepared for this. So more you're paying for experience. The only difference is just that if anything happens, there is nothing that can happen that I cannot provide a solution for. And I feel like this has come with experience over the years. I can just quickly find a way. If a vendor don't turn up, like, I have contact, I can start calling immediately. You know, while we're waiting, I can pick up the microphone and just start dilly-dallying, saying, you know, just say, oh, we do apologize, we'll start soon, you know, just find something to keep the guests.
It's the experience.
So sometimes it's even the experience you're paying for is the fact that some of these vendors have done courses or trainings, or they have mentors that they're having to pay for. You know, and the other ones as well that is not generally, you know, common to people that, you know, maybe you're a registered company, you know, you also pay your taxes and all of that. And so that's sometimes what it is with the charges. So when someone says, oh, someone is charging, you know,
well, they said that to me today, and I said, yeah, that's fine, that's not a problem, but you know, that's not what I charge. And I'm very transparent with my fees. And
everyone's charges is different for a reason.
You know, so some people will not question your fees, and some people would. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know your pocket. better than I do. It's not my job to convince you to use my service.
Yeah, it's what, and again, it goes back to that. There's life after wedding.
There's life after wedding.
If you be realistic, if you know, you can't afford this person, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And I think that's another problem.
Like
as
now,
well.
I don't go into Louis Vuitton because they don't even show their prices, so I don't even go in there.
Oh, Ferragamo.
Exactly.
Any of this.
Let me go to Gucci where I see their prices right there.
It's true. When you go to these shops with like just
Some of them that have their prices displayed.
and they're just 5 items in the store.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're going to be paying enough, because if you have just 5 or 6 items in the store, come on.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not, but it's just more. Yeah, it's just more like, I mean, you don't have to go with a big name. No, and I'm all for this.
Yeah.
Honestly, and some people will look at you and be like, oh, they look like that. No, don't. Like, it's not. Just because someone is being, they're popular or something doesn't necessarily mean they're like, not like there's no one else out there that can do it. One thing I'll just say is also be careful when something is ridiculously cheap, because that saying about you get what you pay for as well.
Yes.
That's also
Again,
true.
I've heard a lot of horror stories. I've had people, message me maybe after their wedding saying, oh, I should have gone with you. We've made inquiries, but, the price wasn't. And as much as, I know, I don't want people to, get themselves into debt for their wedding.
No.
But it's also more of be careful. If something is sounding too good to be true, then it's bound to be be careful not to fall into that trap. Like Deborah said again, do your research. I mean, do your research. Don't just go by social media page or something like that, So do your research. If you can maybe contact some of the client or, check with vendors. Because I mean, vendors will always know
because
each other.
like I find myself recommending vendors to brides to be, or sometimes when certain brides tell me who they've gone with, sometimes I'm hesitant, and sometimes and sometimes I'm like, yay, but it's just about doing your research, isn't it? Okay, for example, I spoke to one of my past brides today, right? I saw her today, and she got married 4 years ago. And she said to me, we were actually talking about her wedding and stuff. And then she said to me, she got her pictures for her wedding 2 years later.
Imagine.
2 years later,
That's a
I
long
would
time.
have listened.
Yeah.
I would have gone to the courts. That's a very, very long time. And she said she went for a well-known photographer, who was not very cheap. So she was happy to pay the price. And then she, on top of that, she said there was only 5 pictures out of all the images he sent. Oh, I just said a he.
5.
I'm joking. Yeah, so there was only 5 pictures that she actually liked. And that was heartbreaking for me, because it makes me sad knowing that this brides and grooms, couples, they just meet and you. They're like, they are
Not
meeting
millionaires,
you.
they're
They're
just
everyday
normal
people.
Like you said, I want to treat people the way I want to be treated.
Yeah,
if I'm getting
it's
married and I
sad.
book you as a planner, let's say I want to book a planner, I want the planner I will treat you, my couple. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
The way I want people to actually treat me.
It's heartbreaking. Like, I really honestly felt so sad that, come on, like, what kind of money you people looking for that you're willing to, make turn someone's big day into a sad
Now becomes
moment.
a nightmare.
Yeah, it becomes a nightmare. I don't want to be a part of that.
And that, honestly, that's one of the things I also say.
It's like the moment is gone, isn't it? 2 years later.
Yeah.
That's when you're not getting your wedding
There's no
pictures.
buzz
And
about
there's
it, it's
no,
gone.
trust me, I read contracts. I get contracts from different people. There is no photographer or videographer that the contract will stay 2 years.
It's definitely
Maybe
going
the
to
maximum in the UK.
The contract won't stay 2 years.
No, I'm even saying that, because what they can argue is that, but it was in my contract that you get your photos 2 years.
Yes.
later. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
That's what I'm trying to say. But there is nobody.
How can you put 2 years and I'll say yes, I will
maximum
not.
Max 6 months.
They'll say
Thank
6
you.
months.
Maximum that most of them have in the UK is 6 months. So
Even at
Definitely
6
breach of
months.
contract there.
let's
I
not
don't even want 6 months for my
Please,
wedding.
God. Offline. Let's take this one offline. This one, that's the one. I'm like, for what?
6 months.
Please, let's go offline.
Is that offline?
Okay, so
yeah.
6 months. So maximum 6 months.
Please, I'm going to talk. I'm joking.
Okay, where can people find you guys online?
So we can. Sorry.
Don't say cut.
Cut. The way you said it, yeah, all this show, where they're like, oh, how can we? Okay, let's start again.
Okay,
so,
let's start
so yeah, we're just on Instagram at Roe Weddings, ROE Weddings, or our website www.roeweddings.com.
And you can find Deborah Lola Bridal on Instagram, Deborah Lola Bridal at Deborah Lola Bridal, and our website www.deborahlola.com.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, ladies. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you,
for
Mayday,
having
for having
us.
us. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did.
Yeah, we got some gems in there and some gist as
Sorry, me, I'm the queen of gist. Forget me.
That was a good one. That's been another episode of Vendors Table. Join us next time.
Bye.
Cut.